Hey guys, it's Super FPV here, and before we start with today's video, remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you want more content just like this, and let's get on into it. So this is the Ready to Sky 4.3 inch FPV monitor. It's the cheapest monitor that I can find on Amazon, listed for about $43.99. I got it for $41.99, so it can be on sale at times. And again, this is the cheapest one that I can find on Amazon that's more than 4 inches. That was my main requirement, because that's what makes an FPV monitor and a monitor, because you want to actually be able to see it. You know what I mean? If it's anything smaller, then it's kind of difficult to see details and stuff. So yeah, you know, my requirement was at least 4 inches, and this is 4.3 for $43.99. So the price seems fitting, and let's get on into it. What comes in the box? Well, the box itself is very nondescript, and then inside of it, it comes with the thing itself, like the monitor itself, the foldable antenna, and the manual, and that's about it. Oh, and the charging cable. The charging cable comes with it as well. It's got USB on one end, so it charges through USB, and then a little pin. I'm not exactly sure what to call this pin, but that's the charging pin that goes inside the FPV monitor. So let's talk specs. This is a 4.3 inch display, which means it's 4.3 inches in diagonal, and then 123 millimeters horizontal and 70 millimeters vertical right here. It's a great size. It's about the size of my palm, which is the size that actually I was looking for. Really bite-sized size, where you can just put it in your bag. And you know, for anyone that wants to come fly with you or watch you fly, they can watch it through here. And we'll talk more about that when we get to the whole use case section of the video. But let's keep talking about specs. So this thing has 48 frequencies on 6 bands. It has an automatic search function, which is with the button on the back, and we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. And a built-in 650 milliamp hour battery. They say 650, but if you open it up, it's actually 600 milliamp hour battery. If it focuses, I could show you 600 milliamp hour battery. I don't know why the spec sheet says 650 and wanted to lie to me, but it is 600 milliamp hours. There is a working OSD inside. It shows you the channel number and stuff, and I'll show you that when I actually turn the thing on. It has this cool thing right here, a little sunshade that kind of just pops out when you open it. When you first open it, you might want to be a little careful, because the thing likes to be pretty hard to open. But yeah, it's got this cool sunshade. You can take it off if you just press right here, and then hinge it off. It will come off to where it's just the display. The resolution is 480 by 272 at 16 by 9. So if you have a 4x3 camera output, it'll stretch things out to fit it. So it might look a little wonky. Your OSD might be in different places, and the letters might be stretched out a little bit, but it'll get the point across. If you have if you have a 16 by 9 sensor, then it's fine, and it's native to this size. But if you have a 4x3 sensor, then it will stretch it out. That's just a little warning to you guys. They report about 2 hours of use case on a full charge. I was getting about an hour and a half. Actually, not that full of 2 hours. There doesn't seem to be any sort of like menu functions on this thing. That seems to be a downside. You can't adjust brightness, you can't adjust contrast or anything. It's literally just a display with a search function, and that's pretty much it. But for $43.99, that's not too bad. All right, so let's go through the outside of this thing real quick. On the right side, there's nothing. On the back side, you have the search button, and you have labels for your channel on, off, charger on, off, and then you have your battery cage, 4 screws. On the right side or the left side, you have the charger plug, and then you have your on-off switch, and then your battery cage is hinged right there, and then you have the display in the front, nothing on the bottom, and then antenna on the top. It's a very simple device, and that's pretty much it. So now let me show you how to connect to your quad, like to find the right channel. Turn your antenna up this way if you want. You don't really have to. And then go ahead and click the search button, not just once, but you want to long press the search button until the numbers start to go up, and then it'll automatically go up, and there you go. There is my bedroom. That's my quad. And there you go. You have it connected. It's easy as that. It's really simple. All you have to do is just hold the search button for like 2 seconds, and the numbers will start going up automatically, and it'll find the frequency that your quad's on. So the quote unquote OSD that they talk about is the battery percentage in bricks. So it goes up to 4 bricks. 4 bricks is full battery, 2 bricks is half battery. The signal strength that you're getting from this to your quad, and then you have the channel that you're on and the frequency at the bottom. It's really simple. This thing is just super simple. Nothing fancy. That's why it's only $43.99, which is absolutely great. You know, it's a great value. And there's a link quality blinking up on my screen. That's because I don't have a radio connected to my quad. But yeah, let's talk about range real quick. Range, it's not that bad. You can go mid-range-ish, about 300 feet in front of you without much problems, and then after that you'll start getting a little bit of problems. Use case would be just you want to use this when you're freestyling. You definitely don't want to use this for long range viewing. So let's say your buddy wants to watch you go far out, like into a mountain or something. Definitely not this. You definitely want a ground station or something for that. Let's say you want to actually go to like a different parking lot, like from like a sort of distance away. This could be okay with that. But I would primarily say you want to use this for if you're racing or having a good time freestyling. This would be great for it because you'd be relatively close to your quad, obviously. Unless you're one of those freestylers that like to go a hefty distance and then freestyle. But this is mainly meant for freestylers and racers because of how... I wouldn't say this is the most powerful thing in the world. You can see in the video there is some significant breakage, but you could see that the video was relatively clear. The video was relatively low latency, and it just seemed relatively okay. That's really all I can say. This thing is great for the value. Like, the value is significantly there. I would say even up to $50. This thing is still a great value because it's something really pocket sized. If someone comes up to you and says, "What are you doing?" This is something that you can turn on and show them. Or if your buddies want to come and watch, this is great. But definitely not if you're going long range. I would say close to mid-range, you could probably pull this thing off pretty well. Close range for sure, but mid-range, you know, it's kind of iffy. The quality is great. This thing is hefty. This thing is thick. It's relatively heavy. The chance of you breaking this, not that high. I dropped it actually on the cement earlier. That's what that little ding is right there. But I mean, it works perfectly fine. It's great. The only thing that I would recommend for them to do is actually have an option for me to change the brightness and contrast on it, because I do like a little bit more of a contrasty image, and also to make the little channel and number functions on the bottom actually more clear. They seemed a little too small for my liking, but that's about it. In terms of latency, the latency between this and your quad is probably very big. I would not use this as your primary display unless you're flying around at home with their mini whoop. I would definitely use a pair of goggles for a primary display. Do not use it as a primary display if you're going outside and flying, because latency is actually it's not bad, but it's not good either. So you know, you definitely want something that's with better latency, like actual goggles, like box goggles or real goggles like this, like Fat Shark goggles. You definitely don't want to use this as your primary display when you're out and about. Maybe if you're using a mini whoop inside your house, but not outside. So it's conclusion time. I would say this thing is great, an absolute bargain for $43.99. I would go up to $50 on this thing because it's super small, it's bite-sized, and it can get you relatively good range, and it's not terrible latency-wise. It's great for those days where you have a buddy tagging along and they really want to see what you're doing and you don't have a spare pair of goggles to show them. This is absolutely great. Or if you have someone that walks up to you in the park or wherever you are and they're like, "What exactly is going on here? What are you doing?" You can just have this thing turned on and be like, "Hey, just look at the display over there. This is exactly what I'm doing." It's great for those use cases. And it's great for if you're at home and you really don't want to put a pair of goggles on and you just want to just fly your mini whoop around your house. This thing is great for that as well. Sorry if it keeps going in and out of focus. That was not intended. That's pretty much for this video. This video is very short and very quick because this thing is quite simple. There's nothing really much to talk about. Just there's an on and off function right there, and that's pretty much it. And a search button, and it's very simple. It's very nice to have. I would say everyone should buy a monitor. It doesn't have to be this one. You can get the more expensive ones or the smaller ones that are like really small, like Mr. Steele has on his Tyrannus. But yeah, this thing is great. It's an absolute bargain. It's a great value for $43.99. I am going to keep this. I have the links in the description if you want to go down there and buy one of these. And that's about it. So thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good one.